Woohoo! Hey! How was the lunch? My name is Ieva Treija, and I will be the host of this stage for next 2 hours. And I'm really glad to see you all here and see so many people who are interested in science communication. And also I want to say hello to all those on the other side of the screen, as this is also streamed on Facebook and on Labs of Latvia site and on LinkedIn. So if somebody couldn't manage to come here, you can send a message that this discussion is available also online, and will be afterwards available as well. So what we will do here today, I will share briefly what this science communication discussion will be about, and then you will have an amazing opportunity to get a t-shirt from Deep Tech Atelier team. You will just have to answer 6 questions, and you will have to answer them right. And then you will have an opportunity to be among 3 people who will get a t-shirt from Deep Tech Atelier. Yeah, just to give a brief information on what are we going to do here today. So last year, I'm representing team of Labs of Latvia. We are a media site that creates content about amazing things happening in Latvia, innovation, science, startups. We are basically sharing, the biggest part of what we are sharing is good news. And so you can get the real inspiration there, those who want that, and really stay up to date on what is going on in Latvia. And Latvian Investment and Development Agency invited us last year to do something on the stage, and we thought that, yes, communication is the thing that we are doing every day, and we have something to say about it, but we actually invited different experts, and you know, experts always know what to do and how to do it right, and yeah, last year was really very interesting, but this year we decided that we want to do something differently. So as science is about experiments, this is also going to be an experiment. And we will have a discussion. 7 scientists have agreed to share their stories on how they communicate, what's their experience about that. And then we will have 3 experts who will give some feedback, comments, but no critics, sorry. It's just for the inspiration and just for discussion. And I really want that we all leave this room with new ideas and really inspiration. As communication is really tough field for a lot of people, and it actually you need some skills to do that. I really want to everyone in this room and also watching us online to be encouraged to do that, because it's not that hard. And before we start and we invite first speakers, you will have an opportunity to get a t-shirt, as I promised. So what you have to do, this is a QR code, you can scan it, and or you can enter www.slido.com on Google Chrome, Safari, or whatever you are using. And just a second. And there should be, when you open Slido.com, if you are not using QR code, then you have to enter this code that you see under the Slido.com. Yeah, I see already people who want really cool T-shirt. That's great. Okay, so I'm the one who can start this, right? Okay. I think that let's go. I will read the question, but you also can read it and answer. What is the biggest planet in the solar system? Voting closed. Everybody managed to do? Sorry. Then the next question. No, now you see the right answer, sorry. This option is also available. So the biggest planet in the solar system is Jupiter. And basically, the biggest part of you answered this correctly, so congratulations. But you all still have the opportunity. So, next question. Nokia used to sell what? I think some of you are having fun. So the correct answer is toilet paper. I didn't prepare these questions, sorry. I cannot comment on that, but you can, I think, Google it. Okay, so next question. Google's first tweet was in 2009, and it was written in binary. What does it mean when translated into English? Oops. And the first tweet was, "I'm feeling lucky." Okay, so there are 1, 2, 3 more questions to go. So the question 4, what color are sunsets on Mars? Let's see. And yeah, it's blue. Thanks for helping out for nearly half of all the respondents. So 2 more questions. The most watched YouTube video in 2023 was? Baby shark doo doo. But I don't know the answer. Oh, it was really Baby Shark. That's, okay. I have 2 small kids yet for this. Okay, and the last question, probably it's the most important for some of you who has answered all the questions right. So, we blink around 20 times per minute. How many times approximately do we blink while working in front of a monitor? That's a tough one. And the correct answer is 7. Woo. Okay, so what happens next? Oh, we don't see. You see it on your screens, right? So we have 3 lucky winners. Miks, Blēja, Congratulations. Woohoo! You will, to get a t-shirt, you will have to attend the registration stand on the first floor. So I don't have anything to give, but congrats. You did perfect. Nikolai's B. Woohoo! 4 correct answers. And then 3, 5, 6, 2, 6, 3, 8. What shall we do about that? Ah, it's you. Okay. Perfect. And it seems that you have won because you answered the questions really, really fast. Because there were some of you with 3 correct answers. Anyway, congratulations with a great T-shirt. Just go after this session to the registration below and get one. So, okay. This is one part. I don't want to say the fun part is over because I think fun part just starts now. Yeah, so I briefly describe what will happen here. And before I welcome on stage first speaker, I would like to give a couple of words to our jury members. Well, jury is not the right term because they won't evaluate anything. They will just give a feedback, and I really couldn't find the right word for that. But anyway, they are experts in the communication field, and they won't be harsh. Elina is right in time, so they won't be harsh. They will, I hope, give very good insights and help to understand how you can do better. So let's start with Krista. Krista, please introduce yourself. A couple of words.
Should I stand up? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
So everybody can see you.
Hi, I'm Krista. I am the co-founder of TrueSix, which is a content marketing and PR agency based here in Latvia, but we work with local startups and innovations, helping them find their way into international press, international media, and help them be more public and visible into international markets. So,
thank you, Krista. Anda.
Hey, hello. Oh, we are so many. So yes, I'm Asere. I'm working for Labs of Latvia and writing about startups and scientists.
Yeah, thank you. And Jānis Palkaunieks didn't manage to come today, so we have a perfect person to cover him up. And yeah, Elina Lidere from LMT. Ah, woo.
Hello.
Yeah, a couple of words.
Yes, I'm innovation ecosystem lead for Latvian mobile telephone, which is a company working not only on mobile phones and data subscriptions, but also lots of R&D projects. I'm co-creator of Riga Tech Girls and also 5G expert for Latvian Information and Communication Association. Thank you. And PhD student as well.
Woohoo! Let's give a round of applause to all our experts. Woohoo! And now I would like to invite to the stage first our first speaker, and Tatjana Pladere. She's from University of Latvia, and she's head of the Department of Optometry and Vision Science. Give her, please, a round of applause. Woohoo.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. It is so exciting to be here, and thank you very much for coming. So, what does communication mean to you? To me, it's all about connecting with people, with you, fantastic people, at amazing events, face-to-face meetings like this one, Deep Tech Atelier. And I'm a very curious person. I always use this opportunity to connect with people, to learn something more. And I think this is the most fantastic when we can have this kind of exchange, this flow, exchange of energy, of information, of new insights, of experiences. And I usually ask a lot of questions, and I'm a very keen listener. And I also share my experience, and it makes me so happy if I can help someone with my experience, my ideas, my thoughts. If you can relate, this makes me very, very happy. But the question is whether I feel the same about public speaking. Well, the situation can be quite different. And when I was preparing for this event, I was thinking about my experience, previous experience, and it made me to reflect again, and also to recall some episodes after which I wasn't quite sure that I would like to continue. I was thinking that it's kind of too much for me to handle, and I'm not sure that I want to put myself through this process again. But somehow, I'm still here. I'm still on the stage. So the question is, why? For sure, it took time. But all of this can be also presented in the form of learning experiences. For sure, at that moment, it doesn't feel like a learning experience. And everyone who says that, it makes me feel like so awkward. I mean, just like, what kind of learning experience you talk about? This is epic failure. Let's call it that way. But for sure, after some time, it becomes learning experience. And when reflecting on this experience, I have decided that today I would like to emphasize, to highlight 3 points that help me, and maybe those points could also help you. So let's go to these 3 points. The point number 1, something that helps me, I ask myself, what is the main message? Every time I prepare for the interview, for discussion, for talk, for the conference, I ask myself, what is this most important thing? So powerful, so important, so crucial that I cannot stay silent. I must go there. It is something bigger than me, and tell everyone else. I want you to know. And that's why the majority of the time I spend preparing this one main message. And I also define what is good enough level for me. I mean, good enough level for me is that I'm going to say this statement, this sentence, but then I can go even further. I mean, if I do even better, then I will introduce this idea somewhere in the beginning. Then somewhere in the middle, I would support with additional points. At the end, it doesn't matter where the discussion went, I will return back everyone's attention to this main idea. And then I think, well, I did well. So the question is, when do I feel like something happened wrong? When I listen, for instance, to the recording of the interview, and I understand that, oh, this is the thought number 1, thought number 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, how many thoughts you can have on this topic? And basically, that means that it is kind of a chaos without the main idea. And another case was the over-preparation, because I used to prepare not one idea, not one sentence, But I kindly asked interviewers, in order to lessen down the level of stress, to send me the questions in advance so that I can prepare all responses in advance and feel more confident then. And you know what happened? There were several episodes when the interview starts. For sure, it is live. It is both video and audio broadcast. And the interviewer asks the first question, and it's not from the list. Okay. I respond. But I'm thinking, well, I guess this is just the introduction. But then I get the second question, and suddenly I realize that it's not only out of the list. The topic is going to be absolutely different from what I prepared for. Well, this made me understand that, you know, when I have this main idea, one main statement, it allows me to incorporate it. It doesn't matter what kind of interview, what kind of discussion I have. I know that I will find the way to incorporate, to include this main idea. And here we go to the point number 2. Something that helps me, and I didn't used to do that way before, I specify in advance whose opinion matters to me. And for you, maybe now you may think, oh, for sure, obvious, right? What could be other variants? But you can imagine, you remember that I'm a very curious person. And in the beginning, I wanted to check how other people perceive me, my performance, my ideas, my words. So what I did, I opened the comments. Never again. Exactly. And the problem was that I accepted everything I heard, I learned, and this is not the way I do now. Now I'm very selective. For sure, I do this reality check with different people whose opinion really matters to me. But the thing that I realized, which was very important, that when someone submits feedback, it's their interpretation of my performance, of my words. It's not about me, or not only about me, but I hear your words, I hear their interpretation. It is about other people. And then I select what to do with this feedback. And finally, we move to the point number 3 that I wanted to share with you, is to know exactly, through the experiments, as it was said, who you are and who you are not. Because there are, nowadays, so many sources of information are available. I guess you have seen this list, top 10 tips and tricks, how to capture audience attention. There are so many books, there are so many experts. And the thing that worries me a bit, when I watch different videos, for instance, TED Talks or some similar videos, short videos, something that I see, that people start using the same things, the same tips, the same phrases. They behave in the same way. And it feels to me that if we follow everything, we lose this authenticity. And I think it is very important that we know well who we are not, what works for us, what doesn't. And I feel the most powerful when I do not pretend to be anyone else. So, what does communication mean to you? I'm very eager to hear my colleagues. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tatjana. Thank you. Let's give a word to our experts, and I already see that Anda is really impatient to say something.
Yes, I'm so excited about your presentation. It was fabulous. I loved your energy and I loved your honesty. It's the best advice everyone could give you. Just be yourself and do what you are doing. I loved your 3 points. Excellent advice for everyone. I guess not only for scientists, for PR persons, for journalists, for everyone. Very good. I just don't know what to else say. I loved it.
Woohoo! Thank.
Yes, I will add. I will add. Yes, I heard I listened to your words, and I heard. And my interpretation is use every opportunity to speak. And second one, see it as a learning experience. Wonderful advice. Did I understood you right?
Absolutely, I can relate to what you said. And first of all, I wanted to say thank you very much. I appreciate your kind words. And for sure, with experience, it becomes easier and better if we can handle this. And we need your support. We need your support in this.
Woohoo! Thanks. Elina, Krista?
I can add maybe some comments on that. I think for scientists, it's sometimes good if they do lecturing, because that makes them also frequently train themselves to speak in public, more or less. And yes, that's why I agree also to Anda and what you said, that it's you need really frequently to do that, because even if you somehow get very good in public speaking, if after a while you will stop to do that and will start again, you will feel the same almost as in the beginning. Maybe it will get to you quicker afterward. But anyway, yeah, the training. And then about being yourself, I don't know, I use the trick that sometimes in my head I repeat that I need to feel like in my friends' surrounding. And that helps me also to find my voice and speak really from myself more and be unique in my own way.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for this presentation. Yeah, my compliments to you for how prepared you were on the stage, and it was basically perfect. And I think if we had more speakers like you at any conferences, those conferences would be so much more interesting and exciting, and there will be so many more people in the room listening to the speakers. And yeah, maybe it is because you don't do that often, is that the reason why you prepare for your stage time. And another thing that stuck to my mind was your comments about how you always prepare for interviews and stuff like that. I work with media and journalists on my daily basis, and I know the journalists, one reason why they don't want to send the questions in advance is because during the conversations, well, they come to an interview and they have a story in mind. And then during the conversation, they realize, but hey, there is an even better story in there. So if they have sent you the questions and you have all the perfect answers prepared, you wouldn't tell something more interesting. So I think that's a good lesson that you have learned, that you don't have to always be prepared. You don't always have to have an answer to every question, but you have to have that one message in mind. So yeah, overall, it was amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your words. You're so sweet.
I already said that. Yeah, we want to hear a lot of kind words today. But I will use the opportunity and ask. You are attending a lot of public events as a speaker. What are your tips and tricks that you can suggest to introvert people in the room about networking? How to network? How to meet new people?
The thing is that I think that this is where, thank you very much for your question. I'm introvert as well, yes. So 5 to everyone, right? Or almost. And the thing is that something, as I said, what helps me, it is not only thinking about the interviews or discussions or participating in the talks. Something that helps me is the goal, the idea of why I'm here. And I know if I know exactly why I'm here on the stage, or why I'm here at this event, or why I'm here in the networking environment, and knowing that actually there are so many people around who feel the same, absolutely the same, also awkward, not knowing what to do, it helps to understand that, oh, I'm not only the learner here, and makes it easier.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tatjana. It's hard to be the first one, but you did great, and thank you. Thanks, experts, for comments. And we have a small present, and please enjoy the conference.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Tatjana. It was really, really good presentation, good beginning. And now I'm giving floor to Viktors Haritonovs. He's representing Riga Technical University. And he's faculty, he represents Faculty of Civil and Mechanical Engineering and Institute of Civil Engineering. And he has a presentation.
Yes.
We will see it in a moment. So, Viktors, floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you. Dear colleagues, I will be much applied. I'm very inspired with Tatjana speaking. I'm feeling like 10 years, maybe 15 years younger by participating. Okay, my idea to present you communication skills, my experience, because I'm working for 25 years in science, beginning a long time ago, and it's clearly that communication have to be. It depends on your unbinding. It depends on your, I don't know, self-education. It depends on your self-critic. And so, communication is very important because you have to create team. And I am as a scientist who develop materials for roads, sustainable roads. I understand that I need communication because I have to create team that is gather experts of different areas. For example, here we did project last summer about anti-dusting, and I'm a road expert. Here is involved forest chemistry expert because we did anti-dusting with forest byproduct or forest industry. Okay, for communication I have to speak with with police. I have with customers. I have to prove them that my knowledge, my team knowledge is enough good that can I find solution for different problems, and they can give me money because money it's very important thing. Okay, the next one, if we are talking about money, we have not to be like ego, selfish, is a losing play. And therefore you have to think about new generation and communication with younger generation. Here is my lab, because younger generation is my future colleagues, is my future customers, is future politics. Yes? Okay, communication with younger generation. Also, you have not to afraid of competitiveness. You have to prepare next generation. Because we will know in democratic countries that due to competition between different experts, we achieve the best results. Okay, communication with my colleagues. Yes, it's also long communication One of the top experts in the world, Martin Zauman, his last event was 1 year ago. He presented his skills about preparation of scientific paper and so on. I know him 20 years. We do great research. Now, due to communication, we have projects for several millions, but not for us, this money for younger generation, for bachelors, for masters, for PhD, for your postdocs, because we have not to keep our money, we have to give money to another. He is my PhD. Arthur's communication started when he was bachelor. He was sitting on the first, not a stage, close to me. I started to communicate with him. We prepare bachelor work. Then he was motivated. We prepare master work. Now he is finished PhD in one of the best experts. Again, communication. Okay, press. If you do something good for experts, you are disseminate results through specific scientific papers. But for auditory, general singing people, you have to communicate and to show in very simple words by communication with press. You have to show experiments. Here is doing anti-dusting. Problem, good solution. Here we do using rubber, waist-tie rubber. Problem about utilization, do. Hello, people communicate. Many people. Okay, communication with politics. Because you have knowledges, politics no have knowledges. And you have to say him, to give them advices. And the next one, failure. It's full-scale trial. Failure. It's okay. we did these experiments, and it was a legal experiment. And we received administrative case. It's good, not criminal. Because we are doing legally tender, but contractor didn't do legal things. No experiments, bad results, and administrative case. Success. Some of your results can be as a best achievement in science. Okay, why we do need communication? In my case, if road is like this, here also should to be some pictures. Communication, maybe you know, Kekava bypass road, new by communication. Contractors, politic makers, administration come to us to communicate. We need to build, construct road, but it's not a routine construction. It is construction, it's the same financial situation when a responsible is contractor. It's not written, and they think how to build road that it could longevity 20, 30 years. He is interested in longevity, and therefore he needs knowledges. In routine testing, sometimes longevity not so important. Okay, it's my way. Frank Sinatra best thing, okay? My way, my story. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Viktors. A couple of questions from my side. Thank you for introducing all the communication scene from all the aspects. First, I will give a word to our experts. Any comments, feedback, questions?
Yeah, well, thank you. Thanks for this sharing of experience. I see that you have understood that communication is a huge part of everyone's life, especially if you want money and want to do business, right? A few things that I heard about how when you go and talk to the press, there's usually this problem and then there's a solution, which is a great thing because, as we all know, the core part of every good story, there's this conflict, yeah, there's this problem, then there's this hero who is solving this problem, and then there's a solution. And whenever you want to get some public, visibility, these are the kinds of stories that you should approach the media with. And if you don't have success stories, as you mentioned, go with the failures, because everyone wants to share their success stories, but people also need to know the failures. And if you are courage enough to do that, that's a really great thing. So thanks.
Thank you, Krista. Anda?
Thank you so much. I was so happy to see that you love stage. It's so well seen that you just love to be on the stage. Thank you. Also, one more compliment. I have heard about your communication communication skills from the colleagues. So thank you for your good job working with media. And yes, things I heard and I really liked. It's very clear that yes, communication is very, very big, but it's very nice that you also told how many in how many fields it is. As already Krista said, money. You and Krista said money, politics, future, colleagues, team. It's so big number of parts that is included in this topic. So it's very, very good that you know it, and it's, I guess, if you know why it's needed, it's so much easier to communicate. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. Elina.
I really liked your angle about the kids, the young generation. I think it's actually super complicated. Usually it is also like we were speaking about the STEM education and about the math in really first classes in school, and usually it's like sometimes even history teachers are teaching the math, but actually the younger the kids are, and maybe they don't know so much, the actually more expert you need to be, and you need to know more to really explain them so they could understand and explain the real thing, how it is actually. And then another thing which I remembered while you were speaking about the scientists, about also importance to speak and all those meetings, is actually one of from industry experience. We initiated the ecosystem on semiconductors, bringing together policymakers and also scientists and so on. And what we understood, we were speaking for 2 years in different meetings, and then only after 2 years we really understood at least some of the angle what scientists were talking about, because not every time they actually can explain the real greatness, what they are working and the real success. So yes, from my experience, also repeating and trying many times, it really helps in the end. Yeah, not only one meeting. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I see that Anna has comment. I just want to do the follow-up question. How hard it really is to focus on simple talking about your scientific project. For example, you know that you have to talk with the media and you have to talk in simple terms, but how hard it is for scientists?
At the beginning it is hard, yes, because you know these hard words, terminology, but it's also like a science, and it's again experience and again communication that you have understand. You are speaking with child, and you have understand the child doesn't understand specific terms. I will start to talk about strain deformation. So no. Yes. It's like a science and huge experience. You have many to talk. For example, my English not perfect, but I'm talking with you. It's also good for me to improve my English knowledges, because I was born in USSR time when capital is Great Britain is only things that I remember by teaching English.
Okay, thank you. Anda?
Yes, I have a little bit similar question to yours. What is more complicated, to talk with press or with kids?
With kids, because attention of kids, it's difficult. If you are talking with students, if you don't want to listen me, you can go out because you will be on competitive market, and in competitive market, knowledge is important now. But for kids, it's you have to keep attention, and you have to build it a little bit to speak with them, then to give them like I don't know, some task, interesting task to. For example, I am working with roads. Please draw for me roads or something like this. Yes, in simple way.
Okay. Thank you very much, Viktors. Some small present from our side. And next up is Aleksejs Zolotarjovs. He's representing University of Latvia Institute of Solid State Physics. He's the head of Optical Materials Laboratory and leading researcher. Aleksej, the floor is yours.
Big buttons, love it. Hello, everyone. I'm Aleksejs. We were given quite a large creative freedom to create these presentations. Therefore, I decided to just have fun with it. Therefore, don't absolutely criticize it. Judge it to the end. But what I tried to do is present an idea that I found while working in science and trying to commercialize something. Because, of course, science is one thing. People like to talk long hours and say things very complicated. And in business, it's quite a different story. And that's why I tried to represent in this presentation. Change size to fit. First, let's get things straight. Great panel discussion. Communication is very necessary. It's absolutely a skill. We should train it. There are experts in communication. We should listen to them, of course. Transactional analysis also works very well in this room. The Zooms is bad, COVID is bad, of course we know all that. Yeah. But since we were given the creative freedom, and I acknowledge that those topics are very important, I decided that maybe we should talk about something a bit different and something smaller. Scale yourself down to match the desired goal. This is the idea that we have to accept, and this is the only way for scientists to actually try to push our technologies to the commercial fields, because as previous speaker was talking about the some research and TRL levels, and if we are talking about TRLs, we are as a scientist we operate at TRL like 3 to 6 maybe, and business works at 7, 8, and 9. Therefore, scaling ourselves down is a very important thing. What I mean by that? We have a project. The project is basically a device to transfer the laboratory measurements for the water quality analysis. And we are developing the thing like for 1.5 years. And just at the start of this year, I met with my friend that studied with me, but he went to the industry. So he went to the business side, while I went to the science, and I'm working in science for 10 years. He went to the business side, and he asked me what I do for a living, like what we are studying in our lab. And I tried to present the thing that is closest to him as I can imagine. So basically, the closest thing to the industry. And I started talking about this device. What can it measure? some chlorophyll, photoluminescence, dissolved organic matter. We can measure overall absorption, and we also do all those spectra, and those numbers are very important for us. Those not so much, but we are still measuring them, we're analyzing them. We have this device, it has this spectrometer and filter wheel and those diodes, and it's all in the single coherent device. It's very optimized. All those features, damn, they are amazing. This is an IoT device. It's easy installation. You can just put it in the water and it will analyze the data and databases and everything. We have tested it in Spain, and we will also test it in different industries like desalination, blah, 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 and so on. And all those fancy graphs where we measure a single parameter and we see the biological development in the water. And we have also all the technical documentation is very easy to mount. God damn, this is amazing. The web page with all the graphs, you can see it in your phone. You can see the quality of data in your phone. And this is the team is working like biologists and all the engineers and everything else. And I was like, for 1 hour talking to him, telling about this technology and how amazing it is. And he said, it's just a box with lights. Like you have lights in a box, and you just measure the signal. Yeah, it was quite an experience. Of course, I tried to convince him that it's just not just a light in a box. There is everything else that makes this box interesting for the industry and everyone else. And what I understood from the whole this interaction, and this wasn't a single interaction, it's very common for people that actually use the devices and use scientific approaches to ignore the complexity and all the details. For example, you are using your phones right now. How the display and sensor technology works, you can have like 20-hour lectures about this, but you just don't care. And that's understandable, you don't have to care. Thus, I decided to divide to mark a couple of points about the science and business, which I noticed. Of course, there are not only those, it's not an exclusive list or anything like that. So basically in science, we have project-based funding. We have to apply for projects. And since we have to apply for projects, we have to promise in the project something that will happen at the end of the project. So the projects are like 3 years, 2 years, 5 years, horizons are even more. So we have to know and say what we will have in 4 years, which means that we don't have it right now. We will have it in 4 years. So we almost always oversell it because it looks good. You get the points for it, because if someone doesn't promise like gold mountains, they will not get funding. And we promise it, and then we apologize for it later, but that's another story. So subjective validation of performance in science is very common, because the reviewer, usually for a project you have like 1 or 2 reviewers, and they are very subjective. If they have a bad mindset for this day, you will not get the funding that you will require to keep your lab alive for the next 3 years, and this is because the guy didn't eat breakfast, or I don't know. We always, as a scientist, and in exact scientists in STEM, we have statistics that describe the results. Basically, that means that we are never exactly sure about the results. We always have the error, and the error is very important. If you have worked in science, you know that if you don't have error bars, you will get punched, basically. While in business, they have results-based funding. So the better the company performs, the more money they get. It's very easy. The results, money. That's it, performance. And they are very particularly looking at the cost and benefit of a technology that they adopt. Your technology can be as good as it gets, but if it's too expensive and it will give like 1% of the performance, maybe it's not even good to implement it. Maybe it's just better to let the money burn. But I guess you will know more about that. Cost to implement, of course, is a concern. Objective validation of the performance. Basically, if you have some kind of a conveyor belt that punches like, I don't know, spoons, and the spoons stop coming, it's a very objective parameter that you are not doing something right. In science, it's not exactly like that. And And for business, usually the requirement for the performance of the device is much lower than for science. And this is a cool concept to have, but yeah, more on that later. I see my time is coming out. This means that in science, we love to have long talks. Well, in business, they are short. They don't have time for that. For example, how we can present ourselves as a business, as a competitor from the scientific side to a business. We can approach a client and say to them that we are from this and that organization and we have to sign an NDA because we have like 200 people working in the juridical department, and we also have to have a letter of intent for the project. Or we can just say that here, look at what we can do and let me know what you think. It makes the idea smaller. It lowers the quality and the value of idea, but it will get you through the door. The first one, you will probably get a no reply. For our technology, for example, can you measure different chlorophyll types? Yes, but, and everything else. The statistics, I have like a 10-page document on the specific of the measurements that we do. Usually they don't care about that. They just care about the quality of data is not a concern for them. The concern for them is that just if it works or not, and let them to decide if it works or not. So just let's not spend this time, because the scientists want to talk about that, but the industry has to hear this. If they see this, then they will doubt your technology, basically. Another thing that for our case, for example, we had the sensor developed, and you cannot test everything in the lab. You have to put it in the real water to see how the sun affects everything and so on. And I have to talk to the owner of the pier that has those small boats if I can put my sensor in the water. And I approached one of the guys that he is responsible for the boats, and he asked, what is it? What are you trying to put in it? Because this is my pier. It's a device developed at the blah, 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 or, and that works perfectly. That's good. Thank you. Go check it out if you care about those things. We are looking for people that can help us.
Thanks, Aleksejs. So, what does experts have to say?
I really like the business angle. We worked with scientists and PhD students as well, but in Riga Technical University there was an interesting course collab which brought scientists together with one face-to-face with industry player who helped really to take a look on their scientific research from a business perspective. And that actually, I was from an industry side, and the PhD student who was with me in a pair, he this year finished his PhD and got the degree, and he said that at the beginning he thought that it's totally crazy course, just need to finish somehow, and everything was bullshit. But in the end, when he finished and wrote his PhD, he said that it was actually lots of ideas he afterwards implemented and looked from different angles also on his scientific research. So yes, my suggestion is that it's really worth, not only because of money and because of demonstrations and research purposes, but really like talk with business people as well, and maybe you will find something also different angles and perspectives for research as well.
Exactly. I also think that it takes you out of the bubble of science. It's quite a reality check.
But you, as a business representative, do you agree to this this table that Aleksejs wonderfully showed?
In some ways, I like your summary that in the business is simple. I don't think that in a business is simple.
No, it's not simple at all. I haven't implied that, but
yes. It yeah, I like I took a picture of your tables. Yeah, that was an interesting approach, and in many ways, yes, I agree. But also the industry is learning to listen to scientists, and it's not only one way forward. Yes. Depends from experience, of
absolutely,
course.
if they want to adapt technologies, they have to listen. So.
And
I mean, the team of your friends who is telling, oh, it's just a box with the lights. So I had a question, not a comment, but a question for you. Was it the first time when you understood that normal people totally understands the things totally differently? And
absolutely, it wasn't the first time, because this is not the first technology we developed. It was just like an example that you can easily understand, because he's correct. It is a box with a light. It just comes with the package.
So what you changed after this conversation?
Nothing, because this is not the particular person that we will, that he will use the device that we developed. It's his understanding. It's a nice summary, and as I showed, I used it because I understood how the connection works with the brain.
So you are adjusting your presentation to each audience, yes?
Absolutely.
Super cool.
Oh, thank you. So you wanted some critique.
Yeah, great.
There was only one GIF in this presentation. I'm a bit disappointed. Could be
It
more.
was looped.
but it was good.
It was good.
I showed it like 3 times.
Yeah, okay. A few other things. Yeah, as we all know, that every story that we share publicly, they have to do one of the 3 things. It either has to educate, inform, or entertain. And I think your presentation was very entertaining, so thank you for that. And another thing that I heard was about how you work with these grant programs, etc., and then you have to oversell your technology, your innovation, etc. When you deal with the journalists and with the media, overselling your innovation can be a little bit tricky thing. However, as a PR person, and I work with journalists and PR on my daily basis, I have some copywriting tricks that I use when you have to oversell or tell the story better than it actually is, but not lie. So instead of saying things like promising or saying things that this will happen, you can use words like, we expect that, it seems that, the data suggests that, or it indicates that. So whenever you don't want to really lie to the media, but you want to tell your story in a better, you want to portray your story in better light, then these are the good words to use.
Very nice suggestion, but about lying, very loaded word. We're not lying. We truly believe that we will achieve those things. We never do, but...
And a question about media. You have quite big experience talking to media. How do you prepare for that? Is there something special, or you just go with what you have in mind?
There is a saying. I don't know who first said it, but any preparation will take exactly as much time as we have. That's why, for you, I send this presentation at the Monday, 2 o'clock at night or something like that. Therefore, I wait for the last moment and then prepare everything. Because for the creative freedom, the pressure is very good, and the deadline pressure is one of the strongest.
Okay, thank you. So, Aleksejs, thank you very much. Small present from our side, from Labs of Latvia and Leah. And up next is Ingus Pērkons. He's a researcher at the Institute of Food Safety, Animal Health and Environment, BIOR. So, floor is yours.
Can I drink that?
Yeah, please.
Really?
Please do.
Good. Hello. So, good afternoon, everyone. Yes, I'm Ingus. I am a scientist. I hold a PhD in analytical chemistry, which is a field of chemistry that kind of deals with measurements, something that you saw before, but they do more of the hardware stuff. I'm the guy that analyzes the data in a kind of way. And I also do some science communication, and when I received the invitation to participate in the event, I was thinking, why? But then I read the title, Communicate or Die. And so there are two options, communicate or die. And I guess I didn't want to die, so I didn't even ask why I'm here. Yeah. And then I thought, like, what I'm going to talk, and there was a list of questions, all very valuable questions, and I thought that, well, I'm a guy who likes to talk a lot. And if you give me the stage, I can talk for hours. So I'm definitely not going to cover all 10 of them. Oh, yeah, there's the timer. 1 minute gone. Yes. So I thought, okay, I'm going to select one question and talk about that question. And I thought, what I've been doing before, I've been doing quite a lot of science communication, actually. And I thought, maybe I'm being quite successful in that. And then I thought, why am I doing that? Because we always tend to do how to communicate better, what kind of tips and tricks can we do, what kind of PR agencies we can maybe buy and have some services provided, maybe what kind of things we can say. But then I thought, why do we need to communicate? Why do I need to communicate? What's the reason of all that? Because sometimes it's just a very overwhelming thing that people like to put more and more things for scientists to do. So now you communicate. Next thing, I don't know, I'm going to be gardening outside. So who knows? Maybe I don't need to do it. And so I was a smart person. And I did what most people do when they're having certain questions. I did my own research, which, as you know, means watching a couple of YouTube videos, reading a lot of articles. A lot means 2 or 3. And that got me a bit more clarified. So I bumped to some series of articles with a very boring title, Science Communication, Global Perspective. Doesn't sound very promising, so 7 minutes and a half left. But inside there was like a list of essays where different experts from different countries, around 20 countries, have listed, like summarized their experience with science communication over the years. So over the past decades, how they have come from something to something else, what they have learned. And I really, since I'm a food safety specialist, so I'm really interested in food crisis and things like that. And I have done some training also in how to communicate crisis, the crisis management and science. So I thought about the United Kingdom, which has first of all, very strong science, and also a lot of crises happening that require science communication. So I'm going to tell you a story about why, and hopefully by the end of that story, we're going to have maybe a bit more answer about the whys of science communication. So the story starts with 1980s, so it's like 50 years ago, and there is this conservative government, Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady. Have you heard about that lady? Very famous politician. Controversial, yes, but nonetheless, everyone knows her. So she was a very pragmatic person, and so she made a lot of adjustments in how the UK progressed. So she thought that, okay, scientists, very lazy creatures, the economy is stagnating. I think we need more scientists to do like products that you can sell in order to make more money. So they kind of shifted the budget for science in order to make more, let's say, technology-ready products in order to boost all the economy. Well, the scientists are rebels sometimes, and they decided that, oh, that's not good. And there's a problem why the policymakers and the citizens don't oppose this decision. So they decided that maybe people don't know how science works. Yes, they don't know science. They thought that scientists are just monkeys in the labs making new products, being able to make more money. Yes, right? That's why we're all here. Make more money. So they thought that they should educate people more. So there's this thing, Royal Society, that has royals and scientists together. And they decided that scientists, they informed everyone that now you do communication. So they started implementing science communication courses in the master's studies, bachelor studies, and for PhD students. And a couple of years later, this came quite handy. Actually not, but we'll see. So at that point, the idea was the so-called deficit model, which means that people are stupid. people are not stupid. I'm not offending anyone. But it implies that you assume that people don't know things, and if you feed them with facts, they will start to understand science, you know? Like, what kind of chemical element hides with the number 12? Yes, do you know that? If you know that, then maybe you will understand science. So they did that, and they teach that to scientists, and then the first crisis came, and it was this mad cow disease. Anyone heard about that? Mad cows, yes, so one person has heard about it, that's good. So that was quite long ago, so there's a lot of maybe young people who haven't heard about it. I haven't, but since it's my profession, I have some. So yeah, there was this a very nasty disease that affected cows in a certain way that they kind of died immediately and had very severe brain impairments. And of course, this needs to be communicated to the public. And so they asked scientists, like veterinary experts, so what is this disease? Yeah, it's a long progressive disease that you cannot really feel, and then at some point it like snaps and turns your brain into sponge, and then you die. Can you cure it? No, not did I know that. Okay, can you transmit it to humans? No human transmissions detected. Okay, other species? No. What about this cat that died last week? Oh, the cat, yes. So apparently, maybe it can transmit. So people start to become very suspicious, and scientists weren't able to really communicate the issue, and this went on to very, very big, what is the name, clusterfuck, like very bad event. And it went even so absurd that the Minister of Agriculture gathered its family in the live TV to show eating beef burgers, to convince the people that it's safe, it's not a problem. And I think during the recent times in COVID pandemic, we also saw some posters where there's like celebrities doing like boosters. Like, I don't care if this singer takes a booster. Like, it's not gonna convince me. I don't know who thought that this campaign is gonna work. Like, I don't know. Oh, that guy from the TV show is doing the vaccine. Yeah, now I'm convinced. Please vaccinate me. Didn't really work. So this fact-based science communication didn't really work, and they moved to a next big thing, which means engaging the public. I want to talk with you. It's a dialogue. I want to hear what you think about this issue. And the next big thing was GM crops. You know, the genetically modified organisms that we are all afraid from. Some are not. So what they did is they decided we need to engage the public. The best way to engage it, make public discussions, public debates. So they run all around the country, very big events, and they introduced scientists, industry members, stakeholders, policy members, regular citizens, and so they tried to put it in a debate that by people watching debates on TV, they would be like convinced, like, oh, okay, that guy makes sense. Yeah, it's very good. But it didn't really work out. Why do you think that? Why it doesn't really work out that well as anticipated? I think it's kind of like trying to play chess with a pigeon. Have you ever played chess with a pigeon? I have not, but I can imagine how this goes. So it's me here, the pigeon the other side, I make my move, and the pigeon just walks over the place, and the chess is gone. I lose. I try to stick to the rules, doesn't work. So if there are some members in the debate that really like do it off the rails and claim some really ridiculous facts that are very difficult to refute, what can you do? And again, for instance, in COVID-19, do you know what Nicki Minaj is? Yeah, you do. So another woman, Margaret Thatcher and Nicki Minaj. Yeah? Okay. And she said, I think in a Twitter, that after the COVID vaccine, something bad happened to her cousin. Do you know what happened to the cousin? His balls got swollen, testicle swollen. Yes, it's very big, nasty. Imagine telling men that after you get a vaccine, the balls will get swollen. And then ask, like, scientists, so is this claim true? Do you have any evidence that the balls get swollen after the vaccine? We haven't really tested it. So do you have any data? I don't know, man. Maybe yes, maybe no. All the evidence says no, but who knows? So it's very difficult to refute like very silly claims, but they can easily derail the conversation the wrong way. So even though you might have 5 super smart people in the room, there's like one person who just says something very silly, and that's it. That's gone. So that also didn't work. So what's the moral of the story? Nothing really works. But the idea that what they decided is, so if you try to treat something with like science communication, or you have a society that doesn't know a lot of science, and then you try to do something afterwards, it doesn't work. Nothing really works. You feed them with facts, don't care. You try to discuss with them, they don't care. They have their own opinions, and you have to listen to them. Yes? So what they decided that the main purpose of scientific communication is to improve the scientific literacy. And like scientific literacy is not just the idea that you know facts or you know science. It's also the belief in science and knowing how science really works. And is science a belief system? How do you think? Just do this head movements. No. Yes, my daughter knows these things. That's one of the first things I taught her. Like, no. Do you want to eat it? No. Yes. So it's no. And there's this saying that science doesn't care what you believe. It's true, right? It's true. It's scientific fact. But I don't think it's true, because the beliefs, the connections between the society and scientific facts are very much based on belief. For instance, do you know how vaccines work? Do you have any idea how vaccines work? Why did you vaccinate yourselves if you don't know how it works? Because of Nicki Minaj, or because you saw a poster of this celebrity driving back home, for instance. Yeah. But it's actually because you believe that the scientific system and the government system that connects it, you can trust in it. And that they have done all the tests, that the data is trusted, that you can trust them. Yes? Trust is very important. And in order to get this trust, you need people to understand how science works. So I think there is no best way how to communicate, but I think the reason why we communicate, and why we communicate to all levels, either there are small children in your lab, either those are very fancy business people who want to make more money, or maybe some bored politicians who are just at some meeting listening to you, or maybe it's your mom, sister, whoever. It's important that people understand the concepts of science, and they can also maybe even apply some of those principles to their life, that they are in this and that they are interested. And I'm actually very sad. I have like 30 seconds. I'm going to go. I'm very sad. So yesterday I was in the shopping mall, and I thought, okay, let's see what kind of things people are interested. So I looked at the stand of magazines, and I thought, well, is there something interesting about science, technology, nature? And then I'm reading Magical Garden, Practical Astrology, okay. What Doctors Don't Tell You. So out of 18 magazines, around 7 or 8 were about like magical thinking, or things that are completely, sometimes insane, if you are a very pragmatic and rational person. And that tells, unfortunately, a lot about the society, that we don't care about science. We don't care, like some people claim that they care. They don't. Yes, sometimes for me, it's even hard to care about science. But I think the scientific literacy thing is really important. People need to start understanding science more, how it works, why it works. And scientists need to communicate, engage, and I think most importantly, excite people, because people need to do their own job to be interested. You cannot really just like, it's not a small kid that you can just feed. They need to be interested. So make your stories interesting, I think, and then maybe something will work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ingus. So what our experts can add, Anda?
Excellent. I'm having much more fun than at comedy shows. So when you talked about the things what the scientists are doing nowadays, not only communicating, so I'm thinking that maybe you could get some TikTok career or stand-up comedy. So yes, you are excellent at it. As you in the very beginning told that you are the guy who loves to talk and to talk a lot, it's totally readable. It's your really talent. So thank you for very, very, very interesting and fun presentation. I had something more. Yes, and I really loved how you are using your voice. Slowly, quickly. Cool.
Thank you, Anda. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree about this comedian career. Hopefully they don't pay so much as for scientists.
So you're telling me I'm a joke? Yeah?
No. It's just performance, yes. You know, everyone was listening. But I was really emphasizing actually your story because I worked a lot on 5G fake news. And all the storyline you told, we all went through the same actually thing. It's actually about the facts. That was really true, that no one actually listens to facts. And fake news usually work on your fears, on your emotions, and also about the trust for scientists. That is also an issue in many times. And one thing crucial about the science communication was that scientists never will say yes or no. They will just say, there is no data what shows that or something like that. And for people who fears, it's really hard to understand what the scientists then actually mean, because they just want yes or no. And that is like, yes, divide between, and there's something, but the society needs actually to learn about the science.
Thank you, Elina. Krista?
Yeah, I need to apologize, but I was like completely mesmerized by your stage presence and storytelling skills. I didn't even write down any questions or much comments, but I think at the end of your speech you mentioned that make your story interesting and people will listen. And yeah, I completely was into your story and I listened, and I don't have any other comments. So just the compliments on whatever you just did. Thank you.
Thank you, Ingus. But I have a question about pandemic. Scientists say that in some shape or form we can expect that it will come back. What can you suggest? How do we have to communicate about that? Do we have to communicate? Do we have to invite people to vaccinate at all, or somehow wait it to happen?
Yeah, there is this name which I really despise because it's associated with alternative medicine. It's called holistic approach. It means that you do things before it gets bad. And I think when the crisis already hit and then you're like, okay, what do we do? Then it's already too late because you have lost the battle. And people just need to be prepared, and the policymakers need to, and the management part needs to be prepared. It's like crisis management, those courses and things that they do to test. Same applies for the governments and how they're going to affect. So
basically they have to work or start already working now on different scenarios together with scientists.
It's like fixing a car. Like some people fix the car once it's broken. Some people get it to the service when they hear the first clanky noise. So it's your decision. Either you want to be stayed on some highway, or you want to have a nice drive back home and have some preventive measures. So
Thank you, Ingus. Thank you. Some small present from our side. Thank you very much. We have 3 more speakers, and the next one is Arita Dubņika. She's representing Riga Technical University Institute of Biomaterials and Bioengineering. She's a scientific direction leader. Arita, the floor is yours.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. Can I have my presentation as well? Yeah, you have it. Oh, cool. See, it's perfect that Ingus was before me, because you see what I mean with the science talent show, right? Looks a bit similar, but we didn't actually call each other before that. So we are on the same wave. What we see now is that science becomes slowly a talent show, which is good, which is bad, but most of the science are what? They're introverts. We don't like speaking. We don't like communicating. Lab work rules. You know what's the best place in the world? Sitting in a lab, getting your results, and just being there. It's cool. But then why I'm here, right? So do you know what is the most popular talent show in the world? No. You really don't know it? Of course it's singing. It's America's Got Talent. Come on, right? Do you know why? That's because they have to motivate you in general, right? They have a talent, a bit of talent, most of them. But the most important is that they have drama. If you don't have drama, you have nothing. You can sing as good as you can, but if you don't have drama, sorry. And it's a bit with the researchers as well. And this is the place where we will go for the Researchers Got Talent. And yeah, we know, I was trying to find some other shows that are happening, and this is one of the examples. So you can dance your PhD contest. Have you tried it? It's cool, actually. The girls that participate and when they won, they did like really cool jumps and switch and so on. And science communication is very similar. So we start with audition. And in my case, the audition was in 2017 when we got a project called Baltic Biomaterials Center of Excellence. I will switch hands, I think easier. And the question was how we delegate tasks. So researchers talk to each other. So do you know what is science communication? Yeah, well, how hard it could be now. Not quite simple, right? Who has social account? Do you have a social account? Oh, well, one person. Okay, 2, 3. Oh, good, cool. So yeah, we had a similar situation, but the situation was even, worse because somebody told, "Oh, I have 2, and do you know how to log in?" Yeah, yeah. Okay, you do it. Okay, cool. So 1-year project. We did a bunch of stuff. We did some interviews, we went to some shows, trade shows, we had some workshops, we had a lot of fun, but mostly, well, we didn't concentrate on the future because it was 1-year project and pretty much nobody believed us that we will do the follow-up. But then comes the first performance because we got a project for 7 more years. Oops, happens, not a lot of times, but happens. So we had our first big performance with science communication. And that's when we met our university's communication department, and we start to communicate with them a lot more. Yay, you don't know how we appreciate them because they know what they're doing. We don't, see? So at that point, we knew maybe 10%, but maybe that's an overestimation of it. And we started to understand the titles. Titles matter. We understood how the press releases work, how the people are invited to the shows, how the people are invited to the meetings. And then what happened? COVID came. Yes. You start to communicate with people and then you understand that, cool, all of them are there. Somewhere there, there. Yeah, cameras there. What to do now? How to deal with this? And luckily for us, we had a contest in our minds already before that involved a lot of remote work. And that is called BIOR Higher Erudition Game. This one is for kids, not as small as Viktors told us about. It's for a little bit, well, I would say teenagers most likely. It's 10 and 11th grade. And we started slowly. We started only with 20 teams. But then we understood that, people like to participate in a lot of places. And also they like to participate. So they started to come and ask, can we have more teams? No, we cannot. We are researchers. We don't do contests like originally. It's not our work. And that's why we started to go for selection rounds. And here you can see how it went up. With 3 years, we got already 60 teams from all around Latvia asking and trying to get in the contest, which was really cool. We loved it. But still, I think it's hard to get them to work. You know why? Because it's medicine, it's chemistry, it's physics, and biology. Very hard round this year was. So we asked them every time, what was the easiest or the hardest thing? And every year it changes. Mostly it was physics, then it goes to medicine, and then it goes back to biology. And you know why? Because every year I ask the team that makes the questions and the tasks, don't make them so bad. Make them a bit easier. And they say, okay, fine. Yeah, okay. This year medicine was super simple. All the teams could make a video. And they feel better and they feel engaged. And then what we get them smiling in our laboratories, and what we get out of it is not only that scientific part, where we get 30% of students, TV people love it. This is one of those activities where you can get the press coming and writing about us. And not only the national press, all the regional people love it when their kids got the prizes. They're excited. And that's how we can communicate about project, about our research. We have our channels, how to do it. You can see he's very happy there, right? He looks happy. Not really, but yes, he's there. So we believe that our communication managers are the best. And then when they ask us to go somewhere or to tell something, then we say, yay, okay, I go. That happened also to me when she called me and told me, you have to come. Okay, I'm coming. What do I have to tell? I don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we can do that, yeah. And so this is something that already previous speakers told, that every time when you speak with somebody, you have to know what your audience is. If those are kids, it's going to be different. If you will speak with the funding organization like you speak with the kids, maybe not. But you can try. Maybe sometimes it works, but mostly no. And when you come back to the society, it's the same. It depends what kind of society you speak with. So it is a never-ending performance. You never stop. You're always on the way of communicating with somebody, somewhere, in the lab, outside of lab. Do you hear what they say about you communicating? Mostly no, but try it. And as Eystein said, there's nothing so hard. You can always communicate. Just try it to make it a bit easier. So be brave. If we can write those super hard publications, we can write those tweets. Come on.
Thank you, Arita. Yeah, tweets are as simple as that. Yeah. So, Elina, go on.
Yes, I think it is now. Yes, I think actually writing the article in Nature is also, yeah, like it also need the talent like a tweet or social media. Because actually what I learned from my PhD studies, that also in scientific research papers, it matters, the title really matters. And the keywords, it's also like a marketing actually. Yes, you need to think about it if you want to be reachable and really like other scientists to find your article also attractive and start to read it. That is, yes, my takeaway also from your presentation, and also about when you showed actually which of the like physics or medicine or something like that, which was the most interesting for those participants. And then I remember that actually for a science, one of the issues is also, especially in STEM education, the issues is like those who study or work there, they like the feeling that it is super complicated. It's actually, in many cases, maybe really not so complicated, but they like actually to promote it as a very complicated thing.
Yeah, I know. It's true.
It's just a box of light, you know.
Yeah, just a box of light.
Yeah. And
thank you so much. I loved that you emphasized the drama aspect. And communication, and very, very much I liked your thought about teamwork with PR team, and big thank you to you for saying yes when your PR team is calling and telling come here and there will be something we don't know, it's experiment, and you are saying, yes, okay, I'm going.
Yeah, the best part is when they call in the evening and tell you, you have to be in the TV at 6 in the morning. That's the coolest one. It's like, okay, I can do this. About what? Wait, I will call you back.
I even know the voice about what you are talking, so biggest greetings to Lars from Matthew.
Krista.
Yeah, thank you. Your presentation where there were these happy kids on TV, it reminded me one golden rule in media is that media usually don't want someone to come to their TV show, to their interview and brag about themselves and telling them how awesome they are. And you know, we are doing all these awesome things and we are the best in the world, the most innovative, we are the only ones like that. They're like, we don't have any competitors. These are the classic phrases that we hear in our job. So one way to get this media attention is letting others tell your story. And it was a great trick that you did with these kids, that they were on TV and they were telling all the good things about you. And yeah, that's a strategy I think more companies and more, not only in deep tech, but generally should use, not to go there and tell how awesome they are, but let others tell these stories.
Yeah, and the kids tell a lot. You know, when you give them the mic, they speak like, and they also have Instagram accounts, TikTok accounts, Facebook account, not so much, but lot of crazy other social networks that they use that we don't even know about them, and so the word is spread.
Thank you, Anda.
Yes, one more very good thought from your side. I really loved that communication is never-ending performance. It's very valuable lesson from today from you. Very thank you.
Okay, but what happens when the PR team calls you late at night and says that you have to be at 6 o'clock in the television? Do you sleep? Do you prepare? What crosses your mind?
Usually I try to find somebody who could take after my kids, but generally no, I don't prepare much. Sometimes it's harder to prepare for a scientific conference at this point because a lot of words now change to like simpler ones, and then when I go to the scientific conference stage, I understand that no, this is not the right word. It's not box of lights. This is definitely not the box of light. I need something better than this. So yeah, it works both ways.
Thank you so much, Arita, for sharing your experience and small present from us. So the next up is Daniela Godiņa. She's PhD in Natural Sciences in Chemistry and researcher at the Latvian State Institute of Wood Chemistry. Daniela, floor is yours.
Imagine if the world will go completely silent. Maybe some people will not notice the silence at the first sight, but as it gradually descends upon cities and towns, you will notice it. And for many people, silence may be something disturbing, bringing anxiety and negative emotions to them. And that's why, actually, the silence may not be a good thing sometimes. A French philosopher, Albert Camus, has said, "The world is never quiet, even its silence eternally resounds with the same notes in vibrations which escape our ears. As for those that we perceive, they carry sounds to us, occasionally a chord, never a melody." And I think this quote beautifully captures the paradox of silence and also the sound in our world. And maybe you're thinking now, why she's speaking about literature and science and how does this go together? But for me, those people who know me, they know that I like to bring things that maybe don't go together, but They really do. I think that scientists need to be a multifunctional people. You have to be a good at your field, at the science, and you have to be also an artist, because we are constantly going to the conferences, we're talking with people, we're talking with scientists, we're trying to tell them about our research and telling about data and so on. So we need to be also artists in our heart, because we need to get your knowledge also from you, and we need to capture the most important things that are for us also, and give information to you. And I just really love literature and I love art, so I'm constantly trying to bring these things together and try to make science something more as it is. So we understand that we need communication. We cannot live in complete silence and isolation and so on. But why do we need science communication? What does this give to us? And I thought that for me, science communication is a great way to become more confident, because at this beginning, when I started to work at the Latvian State Institute Wood Chemistry, I was really shy. I didn't want to speak with people. I was just in my lab. I didn't want to do anything other just research and so on. But as time passed, I understood that I really like to talk with others in our institute and from different labs, because I get to know them. I get to know their experience. And also, this is a great way to become a better person, to learn something more about yourself and so on. But of course, science communication is really important when we need to bring this science to a wider audience. And it's important that we bring this science communication in an easy way, because actually, not of people will understand what you are saying about your chemistry stuff or your physics and so on, about your cool box with lights and so on. Sometimes people don't understand that. And we need to bring that in an easier and simpler manner and get their opinion also about that and so on. So that's why I decided that I need to do something more at my second home, Latvian State Institute of Wood Chemistry, and I decided I need to create a student council. And I went to the director of our institute, and I told her, okay, I don't have free time, but I want to do more things. So I said that I will create this student council, and she said yes. So that's why we created this student council with different kind of my colleagues and students from the institute. And our main purpose, of course, is to interest the students who are working at our institute with the whole global theme of the institute, with the research we are doing, also the curricular life of the institute and so on. But of course, also for us, it's really important to share our story to kids, to students, tell them that science is really interesting and cool, and you are not a boring person if you're studying chemistry or physics and so on. So what we are doing in our student council, we are doing different kind of events. We're doing this researcher night, which is really, I think, really great experience for kids to get, because they can speak with researchers, they can see the labs, they can see the insight of all of this scientific field and so on. Also, I love to do the shadowing day, because you get your own shadow, which is cool. They will follow you everywhere during the day. But it's a great way also to show them that we're interesting, that we're doing different kind of things, not only just working in the lab, but we're also doing this public speaking, we're going to the conferences. And actually, if you're a scientist, you get to travel for free, which is, by the way, a really cool thing. Yeah, I told kids that if you're studying STEM subjects, yeah, you get to travel for free. So they get to be more interested in this kind of subject. Of course, we're also doing different kind of informative events for larger audiences and so on. I did a podcast last week about science communication and also why I did this PhD studies, which, by the way, is a hard thing, and usually people don't talk about that so much as it should be. And also, I'm planning to do my own podcast, but still need to think about the topics and so on, but it's an upcoming task for me. Also, we participated at Bioeconomy School, which was organized by Latvijas Finday and also Latvijas Valsts Meži, which is really a cool experience for kids because they came to our institute and they got to do different kind of experiments themselves. So they got this feeling that, okay, if I'm a kid, I also can do this experiment, and I don't have to be a big scientist, and I can catch those feelings when I'm young and when I'm studying in a school or so on. Also, yeah, we're doing different kind of lectures for science, for schools or for students, but which is really important, we also need to talk between our colleagues. So that's why we're making different kind of internal communication events, networking events for us in our institute, because we need to get a better knowledge about speaking in our field between ourselves. Then we can go outside and talk with others. So yeah, and of course we also have a social networking, and then we are posting different kind of events in our social network place, which is really important nowadays. So that's the things we do. But also what I do more, because we have such a big time, and we can do a lot of things in a day. I'm also a member at the Latvian New Researcher Association, and also from this year I'm at the Nucleate Baltics team. And by the way, you can also come to event Lampa, which will take place this summer, July. And there I will be also speaking about how to communicate and why I'm doing research and why I'm a scientist and why I did PhD studies and so on. So come and see me there, and other cool people, of course. And yeah, I think for me, the science and science communication is really, really important. And I try to bring this like in my everyday life for all of the time. And I try to bring maybe two things that not so good goes together, but in general, you have to do the things you like and then combine them, and you will see that they work together really nicely. And this quote I stole from my dad, but he doesn't even remember that he said that. But yeah, every door surrenders its secrets. You just need to find the correct keys for them, because we have those keys and we just need to use them, and then we will unlock the new events, new doors, and also discover what you can do and why you're important in your life and what in general public, so on. So thank you for your attention, and thank you that I got invited to this event. Actually, I was also kind of surprised why I'm here, but it's really nice experience, and I really like to talk to other people, not only my colleagues and so on. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Daniela. Some comments from our experts. Krista.
Yeah, thank you, Daniela. I'm also sometimes surprised where I am. A few things that I noted for myself. I really look forward to your podcast. There's data that shows that 90% of podcasts never get over the 3rd episode. So my suggestion is, once you sit down and you are really motivated and ready to do it, plan out the episodes, at least 4 of them, so that you are not one of the 90%. And definitely do share that everywhere on social media and all the channels that you use. And you mentioned that you really love the shadow day at your work, and I think there's a famous saying, like in marketing especially, show, don't tell. So when I think it's really great that kids have this opportunity to go to these institutes and see scientists at their daily work, because this is how you sell your profession to these kids, not by telling them. I mean, I loved your presentation, but you probably wouldn't sell your profession to kids. So they want to see the lab, they want to see all these microscopes and whatever you have there. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Krista.
Thank you so much. Really, really interesting. So today we heard a lot of arguments for science and communication, and in your presentation was one more. Travel for free. Yay! So very good arguments. One more thing about your podcast. If you are, when you are making topics, call me. I will help if you need.
Okay, I will call you. Thanks.
Elina.
Yes, for me, I'm really curious to visit you. I think a good presentation, I guess. But I have one question. There was in the slide where was first slide introducing student council. There was a picture with one title I remember, all bad.
Yeah, that's the most popular for ourselves, because that's a good reminder that sometimes everything is bad in your lab, but then you just woke up the next day and then okay, it's fine. I just need to keep moving. But it's a really popular in our institute. We're constantly using, and it's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice explanation for the yes, all bad.
Okay, thank you. One question from my side. What channels work the best to reach goals of your student council?
Well, for our student council, we use our Facebook and LinkedIn profiles from the institute. But I also try to give information about my everyday life in a lab, also on my social media, Instagram and Facebook. And actually, I think Instagram is a great platform for new generation, because they like to use it, and I think it's really important that we show that we are actually, for example, we're scientists and we're doing something else in our free time. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm showing that I'm a scientist, but in the free time, I may be something artistic doing or something like that. So yeah, I think but in general, it's really important to use those internet platforms for new generation and so on.
And from personal accounts, right?
Yeah, that would be a good way to show the real life that you're living.
Mm-hmm. Perfect advice. Thank you, Daniela, and a small present from us. And I welcome the last speaker today, Oskars Teikmanis. Oskars is a board member of the Latvian Association of Young Researchers and researcher at the Institute of Electronics and Computer Science. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Among all the speakers, I'm probably the one who appreciates the most that so many are still left, so thank you. I used to have a flatmate who was a researcher, and in my view, he was a bit of I guess a traditional thinking researcher, because this one day I was done reading a lot of papers and I was kind of angry how difficult it is to read research papers, and I went to him to kind of vent a little bit, and I told him, doesn't it annoy you that all of these papers, especially in computer science and robotics and all of that, they're written in such a boring template, dry English language. I mean, it's such a pain to read them. And he told me, wait. Like, that's academic writing. That's how you're supposed to do that. Like, you're communicating with other scientists. You have to follow the rules and everything. And And at that point, I wasn't in the science business, but I thought, really, is that all there is to it? Like, that's your job as a scientist? Is that how you communicate? Of course not, like, obviously. But I wasn't in the science business, so I didn't have to think about these things that much. Now I am in the science business, so go figure, I have to think about these things quite a lot. And yeah, in fact, as I said, I'm in robotics. I try to work on what I see as the most complicated problems in robotics, which involve how they move and interact with the real world. And it's actually kind of difficult to talk about these things in a public space, I guess. But I'm not going to talk about this. I'm going to use this session to share some of my takeaways, some of my thoughts during such sessions, I guess. How I have perceived communication and what I have learned to kind of be better at it myself. Because as I see it, a lot of communication is what you say and how you say it. And in terms of what you say, my example is this. I used to be bad at maths. I still am, but I got slightly better. And the good thing about being bad at something at first is that you have the chance to learn what you didn't understand beforehand, learn something new, like gain this understanding which you didn't have before, but at the same time you get for free, if you're attentive enough and if you activate your memory, you get this knowledge of what you didn't know, like what are the things you cannot understand. And if your goal is to convey your message in the best way possible to other people, it is very important, if not the most important thing, to know in how many ways you can not understand this message. So as long as you keep learning and follow along the things you didn't understand before, you will automatically become a better speaker because you will know which words to choose to convey your message. So that's the first thing. That's actually kind of the easy part. And often that's actually good enough if you just want to find the right words. The hard part is, how do you say it? Like, you're standing on the stage, you're the 7th in a row, you check your watch, you see that your BPM has reached like 100 at some point while waiting, and you're thinking to yourself, how many tries is it gonna take for this to not happen? How many tries does it take to realize that I'm not gonna die at the end of this session? I don't know. But the things that help, I guess this is the thing, why is it so complicated? Because it's so different for everyone else, for every individual. But I think there are some common aspects. So for example, confidence is one major thing you have to find, my fellow introverts. That's really difficult. If that's not really your thing, you know, to be in public, to just talk to many people at once, finding confidence is difficult. And one way to do it, which worked for me, is to hop on something else where I already have confidence. For example, at school, I used to be one of those kids who never raised their hands. I just didn't feel like giving answers. I thought, no, I'm probably gonna get it wrong or something. But there were courses where I knew the answers, where I felt confidence or was way more active. So I thought about that. Hey, what if I use this feeling I have when I know the answer and I just kind of try to cross-pollinate that into other situations of life? Wouldn't that make me more confident in general? And I guess it kind of works. For me personally, and another thing that works is music, because for many people listening to music, it may seem like musicians are super ultra extroverts and they just party all day long and everything. But I think even most musicians are actually introverts. And music works a lot as a shield to protect you from all those viewers, all those listeners. You just do your thing, you're on the stage, you do the thing you're good at, and you kind of ignore everyone else. But even that puts you on the stage, it puts you in a position where you're forced to interact with the stage. And if you put that into your speech, that will also improve your speech. And finally, there's the aspect of actually believing in what we want to say. Because most scientists, most researchers aren't actors, in a sense that a good actor is someone who could not care about something, but convey it in a way that it seems like they care about it. For us, researchers, I think it's a bit different. We kind of require to talk about something we truly care about in order to make it seem like we actually care about it. So it helps to spend a lot of your time thinking about the things you work on and finding the angle that makes you care the most about it, so that when you start to talk about it in public, people will actually catch it from you. They will understand that, yeah, there is something there. They actually care about it. So at the very least, you can convince yourself that if you care about something and you talk about it, chances are that the people listening will also start caring. Thank you.
Thank you, Oskars. Anda, what
As
can
always.
you? Yeah, what do you have to say?
Thank you so much. The biggest thanks for the honesty and being so open and even intimate about how hard it is to communicate. So thank you so much. If it helps, my watch also was telling me I'm too stressed, even sitting here and only having fun. So I feel you. The biggest takeaway for me from your presentation was just do your thing, and everything else will be okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Krista.
First of all, I very liked how you opened this presentation with a personal story. It's a great way to catch the attention and make the very good, very first lines, how to engage the public. So very well done. Practice makes perfect. You told a lot about how you have to go out there and how you have to talk and be in front of other people, even though you don't feel like very much like an extrovert who do this on a daily basis. And the last thing, you really cannot sell things that you don't believe in, right? You really cannot convince other people to believe in the things that you do if you don't believe them in yourselves. And I experience that a lot on my daily basis as well, because one of my the works that I do, I sell stories. And if I don't believe in the story, I cannot sell it further to the press, for example. So one thing that we do a lot when we start to work with someone, there's a lots of conversations and lots of chats with the client for them to sell the story to me first so that I can sell it further. So yeah, I totally agree with you that you cannot sell things that you don't believe in yourself.
Thank you. Elina, do you have...
One more moment,
yep.
if the mic is in my hands, yes. One more thing I really liked from your presentation, that in the very end of it you told about caring, that if you care, then if you care, you are telling to everybody else, and then everybody else are starting to care as well. So one more argument for communication. Thank you.
Elina.
Yes, I feel very bad now in public speaking. Everyone, scientists are really great speakers, I guess. At least that is my takeaway from today. But I agree also about this believing thing. This is just very crucial also what I see in communication. We usually use also this mission Latvia, like mission approach. Also to really also about not only about the communication, about your work at all, and it of course affects communication a lot. And then about the downgrading, I remember it about the text. You said that it need to be very not very nice and really easy to read. I think it's really depends. There are sometimes scientists who write really great stories, and I think it's actually the good path. And I think it's also the same philosophy about the computer science, especially that they want things to others to feel really complicated. Otherwise, yes, it's not worth it. Because I know also I'm a computer science PhD student, and I know also from my fellow students and also other scientists. They even asked me, don't make so pretty presentations, downgrade them. So that is also something, yes, to talk about and discuss, I think, in science.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Oskars, for sharing your story, small present from us. And yeah, I feel extremely proud of our scientists we have in Latvia, and I'm extremely grateful to all of you that you had a courage to stand on this stage and talk not about your daily work, but about sometimes not so easy task for introverts, as we heard here. And I'm also very thankful to experts who shared really great feedback, and I hope that you took something from them. Thank you, Krista, Anda, Elina, small presents from our team. Woohoo! Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for watching, and have a nice Friday and the weekend ahead.